once again, comic addicts. It's Joe from Black Box Silver and Bronze, and the boxes have been stacking up, so it's time to do another comic call. Okay, let me show you what I've got. So the first one I want to share with you is Josie and the Pussycats, number 50 from September 1987. What's special about this book is that in this story, they go to the Hanna-Barbera studios. They meet William Hanna and Joseph Barbera. They get a tour of the studio, and they show them how they're going to make the TV show about them. And this is a September 1970 issue, and the cartoon came out on September 12th, 1970, ran for 16 episodes. So this is pretty cool. What else is cool about this? This is the fourth cover appearance of Josie and the Pussycats. This title was originally called She's Josie from issues 1 to 13. And then from issues 14 to 44, it was called Josie. And then the first appearance of Josie and the Pussycats is in issue number 45. And then it was retitled Josie and the Pussycats. And I don't think they were on the cover then. But between 45 and this issue, they were on the cover 4 times. I always like to get them with their cover appearances in their band costumes. I think that's real cute. So this comic I wound up getting for $2. I got it pretty inexpensive to begin with because it was mislisted as number 84. So I don't think a lot of people knew what this was. Unfortunately, the post office, when they shipped it and the package ran through the sorter, it got chewed up right there, and that did some damage to the bottom of the book. When I purchased this book, it was complete. So I contacted the seller, and they refunded some money, and I wound up getting this for just $2. So I'm still happy to have it. It's a great read, and I like having that in my collection. So the next one I have is Spy Hunters, number 6 from July 1950. And I'm lucky. I have a personal shopper. His name is Mike Night Tiger Smith. And when he's hunting for his own comics, if he sees one that has a train on the cover, he always sends me a picture. This was one of the ones he sent to me. I've been looking for this one for a while. And when he sent me this listing, it was really good price. So I was able to add this. This is also from a company I like, ACG, American Comics Group. I like their stuff. So this is Spy Hunters. And I also picked up another True Vision comic. This is Adventures into Unknown 57. If you've watched any of my videos before, then you know what this is. This is their 3D without glasses. I really like these. I'm trying to get the 18 comics together that are True Vision comics. I'm getting real close. So I picked that one up. And from the same seller, I got this one. This is Sad Sack. It's a promo comic. It's called Sad Sack Goes Home. And he's at a train station, so that's pretty cool. And this is a story about him getting out of the army. And he goes home, and things are different. You know, his girlfriend's with someone else. It's hard to find a job, different issues. And at the end, he winds up re-enlisting in the army. So I like this one because it's a great story. I like the cover. He's at the train station. I don't think I really have many comics at train stations. They all have trains in them, so that's pretty cool. And also my brother, who's deceased, when he was a kid, my younger brother, I was big into superhero comics like Phantom and Spider-Man and Daredevil, and he liked Richie Rich and Sad Sack. So this reminds me of him as well. And from the same seller, I picked this one up. This is Mr. District Attorney, number 30, 39. And I just thought this was a great cover. It's a little pre-code, getting close to when the comics code started, but it's got that hooded skeleton there, thumbing a ride, and it's got a story about the dangers of hitchhiking in it. So that's pretty cool. Here's another one that Night Tiger pointed out to me, Cat Midnight. Now, this is one that I had never even seen before. Spy Hunters was on my hunting list. I just hadn't found the copy at the right price for me. But this one I had never seen before. This is Cat Midnight number 53. It's a Fawcett Comics from July 1947. And when Mike showed me this, I was just like ready to go. This is one of the best train covers I have ever seen. I love having this one in my collection. So I picked it up. It was a good price. There were several of them available. This was a really good price. And it had a little bit of a spine roll that I pressed out. But the problem with it was when I went through it, half of one page is missing. The top of half of one page is missing. The backside is the advertisement, and the front side is part of the story. And so I contacted the seller. I said, hey, this is not VG. This has part of the page missing. I'd like to return it. And he said, yeah, sure, no problem. I'll accept the return. But then he came back and he offered me some money off. So it wound up, I decided to keep it. I do not really like having comics that have missing story in it, but I like this cover so much. And it only cost me $15 for this Golden Age one. So what I did was I went to there's two websites that have some great information on Golden Age comics. Most of you probably know about them already, but if you don't, there's one called the Grand Comics Database, and they're trying to get all comics added into the database there. So there's lots of cover scans there and information about the artist, the stories, the year and date it came out, and that's a good one. But another one I really like is one called comicbookplus.com. And on comicbookplus.com, what they're doing is they're uploading comics that are in the public domain. And so you can go there and it's got the entire comic, not every comic, but they've got a lot of comics there. And it's got the entire comic book uploaded from the front cover to the inside front cover, the ads, the whole story, the back, inside back cover, and the back cover. So from that website, I was able to pull down this page. This is the page that's missing. So right about across here from Peril of Venus and up is gone. And that's unfortunate because look at that. That's kind of an amazing part of the artwork right there. So this is just just on my home printer. I downloaded the image from comicbookplus.com and printed it out. And if I ever get comics that have missing artwork, which I don't like to do, if I get them, I like to try to find the missing artwork and print it out and then put it in the back so it's available to me. So hopefully at some point in the future, I will be able to find another copy of this at a decent price that is complete. But until then, I'm happy to have this, and I love that cover. I think that's amazing. So that one is super cool. And then I picked up a couple of issues of Wonder Woman. What did I get? I got issue number 161 and 163. So these were both under $10. This is issue number 161. I like the Wonder Woman around this time period. So this is a 12-cent Silver Age Wonder Woman. I like the artwork at this time period, and I like the stories around this time period. So that's a pretty cool cover, the pyramid in the shadow in the background, and the mummy of Cleopatra there. And then I picked this one up, obviously, because it has that train on the cover. This is the second copy of this I have. It's in much better condition. This is an upgrade. I think this was listed as a fine, very fine, and I would agree it's in very nice condition. So that's really cool. All right, and then I picked up another romance comic. I've mentioned another YouTube channel I watch. It's called The Classic Comic Collector. Scott Harris King, I think I got his name right. And he makes comics, and he's also big into romance comics and Archie comics. So a lot of great information there about romance comics and Archie comics. And so I watched some of his past videos, and I saw him show this one, and I thought, oh, that's really cool with the purple negligee there. I thought that was some really great artwork. And so I found a copy of this one. This is very low grade. It's got a nice crease here. You can see there. It's detached. The cover's detached at one or both staples, but I grabbed it. I couldn't find a lot of these, and this one's pretty cool. And then what was interesting about this, when I got this, I was like, that's really cool, but it kind of looks familiar to me. So I went digging through my romance box, and I found this one. This is Love and Romance number 15. So from the same series, and pretty close in number too, right? This is 15 and this one's 18, so 3 apart. And is that the same girl? It's the same pose. It's blonde hair. She loves purple. So I'm wondering if that's the same girl. Pretty interesting. And another comic I got, you might have seen my Thanksgiving comic video, and I picked this one up, but unfortunately it did not arrive in time for that video. But this is the Mayflower Compact, and you could see it's a small little comic. It was made by IGA, who is like a supermarket chain, right? IGA. And this is a little tiny comic. It tells the story about the Mayflower and the Pilgrims coming over. Pretty neat small comic there. There were several made by this company. This is the only one I have, but if any of you have any of the others, let me know. All right, what else did I get? If you're still with me, I got a Dell 4 color. This is number 273. It's Oswald the Rabbit. And I've been getting more and more funny animal comics. It wasn't really my thing, but they have these funny animal comics seem to have some great train covers on them with a lot of action and craziness going on. The trains are always, going at high speed over hills, flying off the track. So this is Walter Lance's Oswald the Rabbit. It's a Dell 4 color, number 273. And with this, I bundled in this one, and this was another one that Night Tiger pointed out to me. So I found 2. Mike showed me this one, and then, like I've said before, when I find one, I just look through what else the seller has and see if I could bundle stuff to save on shipping. So this is Popeye number 14, and I fixed the spine roll on that one too. It looks real nice. And I realized that when I got this, I had a Whitman Popeye the Sailor, and this is it says 157 on it. And so this Whitman is a reprint of the Dell 4 color one. Okay, and part bundling in with that, I also picked up this Hawkman. This is the Shadow Thief. I have actually wanted this comic for quite a while, and I haven't been able to find it. And this one was a good deal, especially bundling it in and saving on the shipping. This is an early appearance of the Shadow Thief. It's not his first appearance. He appeared earlier, I think, like maybe Brave and the Bold or something like that. But this is one of his very early cover appearances, maybe his second cover appearance. And I just really like this cover. I think it's so cool with the yellow covers are usually pretty great. But with the color of the Shadow Thief and what's happening there with the Hawkman diving down. It's really cool. So I was happy to add this Hawkman. And you've seen some of these before. This is Vampirella. What number is this? 12. So during this run of Vampirella, there were variant covers by Stephanie Buscema. And most of them, actually, you could see Vampirella's face. And she does this kind of like cutesy horror type style. And I did a little research, and I found out that her grandfather was John Buscema, and she started out by inking for him. And then she went to art school and became an artist in her own right. And I'm trying to get all the issues. I think there's 13 or 14 of them of this Vampirella run that she did the cover for, and I'm getting close. I have most of them now. Okay, just a few to go. I picked up a Coverless comic, and I'm curious, leave in the comments, do you buy Coverless comics? I usually do not. My criteria for purchasing comics, obviously I want the best condition possible, but my criteria is basically I want it to be complete, nothing cut out, and including I want the cover there. I prefer that everything's attached, but I'm a little bit lax on that. I don't mind sometimes, depending on the price and everything, if it's attached, but my preference is to find it complete. Now, the grade doesn't matter to me so much. I obviously want the best looking comic possible, but I want one that's presentable. So even if there's problems with the cover, I want that center image that your eyes focus on looking good. So this is the first comic that I bought without a cover. It's one of the True Vision 3D comics I'm trying to put together. This is Cookie number 50. Now, I got this pretty cheap. I got this for about $10. And what I'm trying to do with this, first of all, I can't find Cookie 50 at all, like for a low price, for a high price, at all. I can't find it. So I did see this one. I negotiated. I got it for about $10. And it's complete. Everything's attached except in the centerfold at the top staple, the bottom, one of the staples, the centerfold is detached, but it's complete. Everything's good. And so what I'm going to try to do, this is kind of like a test experiment. I'm going to try to see if I can make a reproduction cover for this. And that comic is available on comicbookplus.com. So it's got all the images. It's got the front cover and the back cover and the inside of both covers. So I was messing around. I downloaded the wrong images. This is number 49, but I was messing around just to see, like, hey, can I do this? I don't know. So I downloaded the 4 images for number 49. I have to do it for 50 now. And I was able to stitch them together. I found a free program at Line that can take 2 images and make them one. And so I was able to do that. And then I also did it for the inside covers. I just printed it out full page on my printer. And so that's what I got so far. So what I need to do, I think I can do this. I need to find a printer around here who can print something bigger than 8.5 by 11. Because I think when I measured it, I think it's 14 by 10 and a quarter. So I have to get the right images for Cookie 50 and do this. And then I got to figure out how to scale them up. I'm a teacher, and I'm going to go talk to my art teacher at school, who probably knows how to do this, and see if I could scale it up and then get rid of these, white borders so that it's full page. And then find some printer around here who can print it front back. And then maybe I can do it. So that's going to be kind of fun to see whether I can do that or not. I know people do it. I don't really know how to do it, but that's what I'm going to try to do. And then with that one, I also picked up this, which is Straight Arrow number 54. This is the second to last issue. And I guess the last couple of issues were pretty low print runs, maybe. I've heard that they're a little tricky to find, some of the last issues. So this one's low grade. I guess somebody who owned this, maybe the cover was splitting or something. So right along the inside, the cover is glued to the first page, and the same on the back cover. Everything's here. It sticks a little when you open it, but then as soon as you open to the next page, it's good to go. So there's Straight Arrow. And this one, super cool, Daniel Boone number 3. This is a very cool cover. I've been looking for a Daniel Boone comic to add to my collection for a while. And I just haven't found the right one at the right price until this came along. And I think that artwork on that cover is just spectacular. The coloring in particular. I love the fire and how it's reflecting off Daniel Boone. And then in the back, you have the black, the purples, and the blues of the evening or dusk sky. This is just a spectacular piece of art. I love that. And something that's cool about this is, I mean, this comic book, I think, is lucky to have survived as a comic book, because the front cover and the first 2 wraps are detached at the bottom staple. The 2 center wraps are detached at the top staple. So that's like 5 pieces of the comic that are like hanging on by one staple, yet it's still here. It's in its entirety, and I really like having that one. So those were my pickups, mostly from eBay. One of my local comic shops. Previous video, I showed you all those dollar comics I got, the Spirit and Dick Tracy and Harvey Hits Phantom, huge scores. And so I had just gotten back from a trip, and I was kind of tired, and I went through there, but I was kind of in a rush. So I felt like maybe I'll go back and check, does he have anything else? So I went back and I got all the good ones, but I did pick up a couple of comics from his shop. So I picked up one new comic, which is Evil Ernie number 1. Now, this is a new volume of Evil Ernie. He's been around for a while. I have never read Evil Ernie before. I have seen Evil Ernie comics here and there, and I was never moved to pick up a copy. I was curious what it was, but I never picked up a copy. So this was on the shelf. I wasn't looking for this, but it was there, and this is a homage cover to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 1. It's a pretty cool cover, so that's why I grabbed it. I said, oh, you know what, the cover's pretty cool. Let me grab that and see what Evil Ernie is about. And I will not buy any more Evil Ernie. So I don't know. Do any of you read Evil Ernie and like it? Because this particular issue did nothing for me. He's like a nerdy college kid who, I don't know, gets taken over. It was pretty unclear. Gets taken over by a demon or Satan, and he goes nuts and he kills people. So it didn't do it. The story didn't do anything for me, but the cover is pretty cool. I think that's a pretty cool homage cover. I like how it's in the blues instead of the reds. So I picked that one up. I'd love to hear some comments from you, if you know anything more about Evil Ernie and whether it's worth, reading or not. And then lastly, I dig through those dollar bins again. I was hoping to find more Dick Tracy and Phantom stuff like that. I didn't, but I did grab 2 comics for $1 a piece. So here's Batman Adventures number, this is 2 or 3, 2. And I've been putting the Batman Adventures run together when I find them for $1 or $2. And I think I had issue 1 and then 3 through 12 or something like that. So it was really cool to find this one. I do like the style of artwork and the stories in here that aren't so gritty and everything. They're really cool. And lastly, something very unusual. This is from a comic book called Personality Comics. And this one is Personality Comics Presents Slam Dunk Kings #2. So this is David Robinson, an NBA player. They also had another Slam Dunk Kings with Charles Barkley on it. So I grabbed this one because I went to school with this guy. So we were not classmates. He was a year ahead of me, but he went to the Naval Academy and so did I. And when he was there, it was so exciting to go to the basketball games. So we have this field house called Halsey Field House. And now there's a new arena that the basketball team plays in. But when I went there, we played in this field house. It had wooden bleachers that rolled out, and you were right close to the court. And it was so exciting. You'd finish your school day, there'd be a game at night, you'd eat your dinner, you'd go over there, and it was just crazy. He was like so dominating. We had amazing, great records. And he was friends with a guy that dormed directly across the hall from me. So I was in as a freshman. He was a year ahead of me. He was a sophomore. I was called a plebe. He was called a youngster. And he was friends with the guy that lived right across from me. I think his name was Steve Corkery. It might have been Steve Corcoran. I think it's Corkery, Steve Corkery. So he used to come over to like my dorm area all the time. And I'd see him and he'd come walking down the hall. And as a freshman, we had to, like when we were in our room, except for at nighttime, we had to leave our doors open. And so I'd always see him and he'd go into his friend's room, and he was so tall that he would have to duck down so his head would clear the door jamb. And then the games were so fun. I remember this one game, I think we were playing, we were in the Colonial League, I think it was called, the Colonial Athletic Association. So we played teams like Richmond Spiders, James Madison University, and I think it was a JMU game. And we were playing at the Halsey Field House, and the game was tied up, and JMU had just scored. It was like 10 seconds left, tied up, and it was our inbound. And we're at the far end of the court. And they inbounded to Dave Robinson. He dribbled up. He didn't even go past half court because the clock was running out. And so he was about between 3/4 and half court. He heaves it up, and it goes in the net. And we wound up winning the game. I think we were losing by 1. And I think it was a 3-pointer. And we wound up winning by 2. And it was one of those games where the crowd goes crazy, the buzzer goes off, and everybody storms the court and, lift him up and everything. And it was so cool to be a part of that. And then while he was there, we also made it to the NCAA playoffs, the March Madness, 3 times in 1985, 1986, and 1987. And in the second year, 1986, we had such a great team. We made it to the Elite 8. We advanced quite a bit. We made it to the Elite 8. We faced off against Duke and lost. That was disheartening, but so exciting to be a part of that. So when I saw this, I just grabbed it. It was only $1, and I thought it brings back some good memories for me of that time in my life. So I've never seen these comics before, but after I got it, I looked it up, and in here they have advertisements. So they had like these kind of biography comics about athletes, basketball, baseball, football, movie stars, Marilyn Monroe, pop singers, Madonna, the actors who played James Bond. So have any of you ever seen this before? Put it in the comments if you have. It's not something I have ever seen, and I wouldn't grab all of them, but like I said, I left the Charles Barkley one behind. I didn't get it so much because I was a basketball player, but because it was Dave Robinson. And his nickname in the NBA was the Admiral. And he is arguably one of the top 10 centers in the NBA of all time, and probably one of the top 50 or 100 players. And not only is he a great basketball player, but he's an incredible human being. He is, he has such great ethics, kindness, really great guy, and proud to be a classmate of his. He doesn't know me, but I know him, and very proud of him. So that's the comic call, little personal history there. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for sticking around. Please like and subscribe. And Comic Addicts, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.